Thanks very much, Chrissy, and thanks everyone for sticking around to the very end. So this is us, Patriot Lithium, not Patriot Battery Metals, not just yet anyway, and we are exploring and developing high-grade lithium assets in North America. Standard disclaimer, the presentation is on the ASX Now website if you want to have a look at it further. So this slide really summarises what we're all about. We're all into North American high-grade hard rock lithium exploring for. So first and foremost, I think the points to note are our premium locations. So we have a diversified array of lithium exploration projects across the US and Canada, all of which are highly prospective but in historically underexplored areas. All of these are mining-friendly jurisdictions, and we really take the focus on not only looking for grade, but looking for projects that have the potential for scale to maximise that chance of it turning into an operational mining asset. The other thing that stands us apart and that I'll point out here is our team. So we've got a proven team, particularly at the management and board level, of proven project generators and developers with over a decade of lithium industry leadership experience and 130 years combined resources experience. So usually before I go into the company in detail in our projects, I pose the question and try to answer why lithium and why North America. The why lithium side of things has been well answered today, so I won't go into it in any detail. Other than to say that in my view, demand is bound to be strong through the next decade, and my question is whether supply can keep up. So why North America? I will pause on this slide a little bit longer. First and foremost, North America is extremely prospective, but historically compared to jurisdictions like Western Australia, hugely underexplored for lithium. This, combined with the fact that it's a known and supportive jurisdiction, particularly in the mining space, with minimal sovereign risk, makes it a perfect space to explore for lithium. The Inflation Reduction Act, which you might be aware of, which was enacted late last year, further turbocharges this, encouraging development across the North American EV supply chain, including for critical minerals upstream such as lithium. Here's a diagram that's evidence of this, and that's since the IRA Act was passed, 14 new gigafactory projects have been announced in North America, and that has increased demand now, with a lot of people predicting and projecting a significant regional lithium supply deficit in North America through to 2030 and beyond. So this is our team. No time to go into the whole team in detail, but just pointing out our lithium pedigree. We've got Phil Thick there as our chairman, who spent 5 years heading up Tianqi Lithium Australia, who was then the majority owner of the Greenbushes mine, of which I'm sure you're all aware, and was the constructor of Australia's first lithium hydroxide plant in Kwinana, Western Australia. Myself, I've got about 20 years experience, including 5 in a senior leadership position at Covalent Lithium. Covalent Lithium are developing the $2 billion Mount Holland lithium project on behalf of SQM and Wesfarmers, which consists of a mine concentrator and refinery as well in Kwinana. So plenty of lithium industry experience there. Corporate snapshot. I think the most interesting fact, other than the big fat pegmatite outcrops in the background here, is our market cap. I don't have a peer comparison slide in this deck, but I think you can agree that at $18 million, under $18 million market cap, with our projects and compared to our peers, we're certainly starting to look like very good value. So, quick overview of our projects. We listed on the back of our US projects. So we've got projects in Wickenburg, Arizona, as well as our Tinton West and Keystone projects in South Dakota and Wyoming. Shortly after listing in February this year, we staked another 1,100 square kilometres of greenfields lithium targets in Ontario, Canada, including our Gorman project, which is 350 square kilometres roughly, and a long strike from one of North America's largest and highest grade spodumene resources. I don't have time to go into detail for all the projects today, so we'll pick out the projects that we've done work on most recently, which is our Gorman project in Ontario, and our Keystone project in South Dakota. This slide's a really good summary of what we've been up to lately, but to be honest, I like pictures and I like maps, so I think they aid in explaining, so I'll jump straight into it. Firstly, our Ontario projects in Canada. So this slide is of our Gorman project, and it's the one that we've spent a lot of time on in the past couple of months. This is one of the pegmatite outcrops out there. I'll go into it in more detail, but we've got an 8 kilometre long pegmatite trend with 5 kilometres of that's mineralised, and obviously a helicopter there for scale. So we've got 7 projects in all, like I said, covering over 1,000 square kilometres, and plenty of high quality regional neighbours, including Frontier Lithium, TSX listed, and they've got a fantastic project there called the Pac Spark project, as well as Critical Resources Mavis Lake project and Green Technologies Seymour Lake project. So this is our Gorman project, and for those of you who don't know the area, it sits in northwest Ontario on the Manitoba border, in an area coined Electric Avenue because of its lithium prospectivity. It's only 68 kilometres away and a long strike from Frontier Lithium's Pac Spark project, which as of December last year had a resource of 42 megatons at 1.5% lithium oxide. And importantly, seems to be along an inferred extension of the same Bearhead Lake fault zone. As I said before, 350 square kilometres or thereabouts of greenfields claims, with no exploration previously undertaken for LCT pegmatites. Only staked in February this year, and already we've been out there and undertaken a fair bit of work. So I like this slide. It really shows the potential for Gorman, the potential scale. So we've gone out there and undertaken 2 phases of exploration and have almost completed our 3rd phase. Phase 1 and 2 concentrated on mapping and rock chip sampling. And phase 3, which is just about to wrap up, is focusing around soil sampling, as well as some channel sampling and mapping. So phase 1 and 2 of this exploration identified an 8 kilometre long trend, pegmatite trend, which you can see from G0 in the southeast to the Pepperette outcrop in the northwest. So each of these stars is a separate pegmatite outcrop with individual surface outcrops up to 14 metres wide. We went out there and did a 2nd phase of exploration. In phase 2, we confirmed that of this 8 kilometres, at least 5.2 kilometres of this trend has lithium mineralisation with spodumene confirmed. So massive scale. To add to this, there's a 2nd trend to the north, 5 kilometres to the north, that's less exposed, and it has a strike length of at least 530 metres and is open at each end. Zooming into a bit more detail along the main trend, the important points to note here are that not only is it open between outcrops, but open along strike in both directions as well. We went out there and did rock chip sampling from each of these pegmatites, and at each of them we managed to get high-grade results in excess of 3% lithium oxide and up to 3.7%. This slide here shows the mineralisation or potential for mineralisation across outcrops. So these indications are that the LCT pegmatites may be continuous along and across these outcrop exposures to where they disappear beneath cover. This image here shows detailed 1 metre spaced rock chip sampling of mineralisation across one of our G1 pegmatites, which shows how well the pegmatite is mineralised across the entire outcrop. So of the 15 samples taken on the pegmatite, 10 of these samples returned greater than 1% lithium oxide. So next steps at Gorman, we've got just wrapping up phase 3 of exploration, which is focusing around that soil sampling. That soil sampling is designed to determine the potential extents of the mineralised zones away from the outcrop to see how wide and how extensive these outcrops might be. A secondary focus, because we haven't been out there a lot, is to do further geological mapping and also in sampling in areas that we didn't get to go to on the first 2 programs. We've also finished preliminary planning for a maiden drill program that will be amended if necessary with the results of this phase 3, and are submitting applications for drilling this year for drilling